Missoula's sports heroes. You're tuned in to the Missoula Prep Sports Network live stream of local sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen.
This presentation of Missoula Sports is proudly powered by Fuel Fitness, the only gym from Montana for Montana.
Check it out.
MPSN is your leader in Missoula's prep sports.
Woo!
We now take you to the action on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Everybody hustles out there, okay, guys? Nobody quits.
Welcome into the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Chris Stratton in Laurel, Montana for the Loyola Breakers to take on the Laurel Locomotives. The boys, they would fall in the first game. The Loyola Rams would fall to Laurel 0-3. And now the girls will have their turn as we get ready to go with today's game. We're going to go ahead and jump into our starting lineups. Loyola is the visiting team, but by tradition with the Missoula Prep Sports Network, we always have our local teams' rosters announced, or starting lineups announced last. So we'll jump into it with the Lady Locomotives, starting off with a 5'7" junior, number 2, Sammy Spitzer. Number 3, a 5'5" sophomore, Mason Coder. She is number 3. A 5'5" freshman, 00, Maya Hansen.
Good afternoon. Welcome to
5'5" senior, number 5, Aspen Coder. A 5'2" senior, number 8, Jayla Hopel. And I looked away. 5'5" freshman, number 9, Grace Wagner. A 5'5" sophomore, Sierra Brandstetter. She is number 10. Number 11 is a 5'6" sophomore, Morgan Mack. Number 13 is a 5'7" sophomore, Gracie Willis. Number 17 is a 5'7" sophomore, Colby Gibbs. And number 20, rounding it out, a 5'7" senior, Caitlin Dawes. Now for the Loyola Breakers. Number 1, a 5'5" sophomore, Megan Newman. Number 2 is a 5'5" junior, Sydney Kopang. Number 3, a 5'3" senior, Emma Daniel. Number 4 is a 5'8" junior, Aaron Dahl.
Number 4, Aaron Dahl.
Number 5, a 5'7" sophomore, Lily Bomas. Number 7, Giselle Huffman. She's a 5'4" sophomore. Number 10 is a 5'6" freshman, Lainey Walker. Number 11 is a 4'11" junior, Carlin Lechner. Number 12, a 5'4" freshman, Emily Craig. Number 13, 5'3" junior, McKenna Round. And rounding it out, a 5'2" sophomore, number 16, Grace Daniel. So those are your starting lineups for the two squads
Now, ladies and gents, your participants and starters for your Laurel
for today's game. And we're going to peel back the tape here. Our officials, Brad Harris,
Number 7, Chloe Plowman.
Doug Clapper,
Number 12, Tegan Harper. Number 14,
Daryl Lewis,
Number 16, Madison.
and Lori Johnson.
Number 19, Katie Grammer.
So Lori Johnson, those are your officials for today's game. And how did I do that? Oh, well. Got tricky with the tape here, folks. Holding down. I've got a little bit of a breeze in the box here. We've got cloudy or smoky skies in Laurel. I was hoping when I came east for the Bozeman Loyola game, football game last night, we actually did have a little bit of a breeze that blew out most of our smoke here in the area, but it decided to go ahead and fog us back in.
Number 13, Gracie Willis.
So we'll be ready to go here in just a moment as they are announcing
And number 20, Caitlin
the starting lineups for both sides. They're actually announcing the full roster.
Bell Nauman, Katrina Baumgartner, student managers Anna Temporal, Caston Campbell.
The Breakers, they're coached by Stephanie Reardon. And Aloma Jess is the coach for
Daryl Lewis and Lori Johnson.
the
These individuals are registered by
Locomotives. And I will probably refer to them as the Breakers and the Locomotives because, well, Loyola and Laurel just too close together for me.
All spectators, players, and coaches, no matter what their personal feelings or loyalties may be in this contest. Good luck, ladies!
So we are ready to go now, as the announcer has announced both lineups, and both teams gathered up and ready to get fired up.
All right, ladies and gents, let them know you're here!
And we'll have the opening kickoff here in just a moment. The first game, don't let the 3-0 score scare you away. The first game was tighter than that. And it looks like the Locomotives will have the opening kickoff, as did the boys in the first game. And there's the kick to start the game, and we are on our way. Locomotives will hold on to it. Locomotives are wearing purple jerseys with a gold stripe down the side. They've got a white name and number, and this is Lainey Walker on the run to the goal for the Breakers. She's going to bring it in. It's off the crossbar, and the Breakers will have the first shot on goal for the girls. So it's controlled by the Breakers. They are going left to right. Controlled right now by Walker. And the Breakers fighting for it. Loyola wearing their white jerseys, shorts and tops, with a scarlet red name and number on the front and a scarlet number on the back. This is a heavy run by Mack. Mack's at the top of the box. She's going to feed it in, and it's going to be taken away. And we'll be going back up field. Oh, excuse me, sorry. And the Locomotives, they'll have a shot on goal. So each team ripping off a shot in the opening minutes of the game. Maya Hansen is our keeper for the Locomotives, and it will be Megan Newman for the Breakers. And this one will be taken over by the Locomotives on the near side. Controlled by Sammy Spitzer. Up now to Morgan Mack. Mack is going to send it upfield, and a shot on goal. Out of bounds. And we'll have a goal kick. Now that the announcer's done, we can go ahead and turn our field mic up, so you can kind of hear what's going on. I got to ride that, though. If the Locomotives get a goal, he's got a pretty good comparison to the MLS guys on the goal call. This is brought up field, controlled by the Locomotives. At the feet of Sammy Spitzer. Fed up. Flicked ahead now. And once again, Mack. Mack on the run on the near side. She'll center it across the goal, and this one will be a shot on goal. It goes in, and the Locomotives will put, and there he is. And the Locomotives will put one on the board. And I didn't see the number. Oh, and we got to stop the clock there. Oh, got it taken care of. Cool. So at the 37 minute, the Locomotives go on the board. Rams pushing the ball upfield now on the far side, and Locomotives will take over. They're going to go ahead and drop it back to their keeper, Maya Hansen. And Hansen will give it off on the far side. Right there is Craig. And the Locomotives will control. Bring it up, flicked ahead. Now at the feet of Mason Coder. And we'll have offsides on the Locomotives. So the boys now becoming spectators, cheering on the young ladies. And the onside kick will be taken at about the 31-yard line on the football field. The Locomotives, Laurel Locomotives soccer field is on the football field, which is much of the case across the state. This one's going to be ahead, controlled by the Locomotives, at the feet of Mason Coder. And they're going to go ahead and drop this back to their keeper. The field sits east to west, or west to east, however you want to call it. The Locomotives defending the western side of the field. The Breakers bench on the eastern side of the field. We'll have a throw-in on the far side in front of the Locomotive bench. And getting right there on it is Lily Bombs. Flicked ahead. Locomotives in control, and it's out of bounds. Locomotives will have a throw-in at midfield. They'll get it in very quickly. Controlled at the feet on the far side. And Sydney Kopang down there fighting for it. But Locomotives will control. Here comes Kopang from the backside. She's going to go ahead and control at midfield. Brings it to the near side. Flicked ahead. Off of a defender for the Locomotives, and Kopang is there. They're going to go ahead and drop this back to their keeper. And it's Lainey Walker on the run back, but the keeper will boot it up. Now at the feet of Emma Daniel. Emma Daniel has it taken away. Flicked ahead. Fighting for it is the defender, and now Sammy Spitzer on the run. She's going to take a shot on goal. It's going to go between the keeper's legs, and it is in at the 34 minute. And the Locomotives will take a 2-0 lead over the Breakers. And we're ready for play. Kopang will drop it back. Daniel to control. At the feet of Walker. Walker crosses over but has it poked away by Coder. Cotter flicks it ahead. Now she'll get it back. Cotter up the near side. A foot on it by one of the Breaker defenders. And we get an offsides call. The offsides kick will be taken by Erin Dahl. And she's going to bring it up, centers it. Kopang is there, fighting for it with Spitzer. And it's flicked ahead, off the chest, and now Spitzer controls. Out to the near side. Mack will center it, and it's dropped back. Colby Gibbs will send it forward, and Locomotives will have it 10 yards or 5 yards in front of the box for the Breakers. Sierra Brandstetter now on the far side to Willis. Willis will try to center it, and that one will go out of bounds. We'll have a goal kick by Megan Newman. 33-24 left in the first half. And Newman with the boot. And getting a foot on it is Locomotives. Controlled by Cotter. And it's taken away. Brought up field. That's Mack. Mack will get by two defenders. She's got one defender to beat. She's foot for foot with the defender. She's on goal, and she'll have a shot. It'll roll into the arms of the keeper for the Locomotives. Good run. by the Rams. Now it's the other direction, controlled by Mack. Mack centers it, dropping back and picking it up is Cotter. Cotter comes to the top at the page of Ventling now. Ventling will go to the far side, crossing over at the top of the box. Now Ventling at the top. Ventling will drive in, centers it at the top of the box. Defenders will knock it out. It's still at the top of the Breaker box. They'll drop it back to about the 20-yard line, and it's at the feet of Morgan Mack now. Mack is going to center it in, but it's too much out of bounds, and Newman will have a goal kick. So Newman to kick it from the far side of the goal. And there's the boot, picked up, controlled by Cotter. Cotter flicks it high in the air at the top of the box. It's headed out by Round. Picked up at midfield by Walker. Walker on the run. Kopang is there. It's Dawes taken away from Kopang, and it's back to the keeper. The keeper's just going to put a boot on it. Controlled at midfield, and now Walker steps in. We get a whistle as the defender, Jayla Hoppel, takes down. Kopang will take the free kick. It's about at the 30 or 29-yard line on the football field. The goals, soccer fields are 120 yards long. So the goals are on the end line of the football field. This one's shot on goal and defended. By Maya Hansen. Hansen will kick it upfield. Getting ahead on it is Aaron Dahl. Fought for, controlled by the Locomotives. Streaking down the far sideline is the Locomotives, trying to center it up. Good defense by McKenna Round. And coming out of nowhere is Emma Daniel to defend it. Locomotives now controlling. Brings it to the near side. Flicked in. Fighting for it. And the Locomotives, they go down. No whistle. Fought for inside the box. At the tip of the box, and now cleared out to the near side. Stepping up and sending it back in. And now Kopang will control. Or actually, no, it's Walker. She'll feed it to Kopang. Kopang streaking down the near side. Kopang with an edge on the run. She's at the edge of the box at the end line. She'll send it in to center it, and that one will be off target on the shot. So a quick goal kick to the far side of the box, and it'll be brought up the far sideline by the Locomotives. Out of bounds. I want to say that's Gracie Willis over there on the far side. And Loyola will have the free kick. 29-27 left in the first half. 2-0 Locomotives. Here's the inbound pass by the Breakers. Drop back. Emma Daniel will step up, and Daniel will go to the ground, but no whistle. Controlled now by Spitzer. Spitzer feeds it in far side. We've got a run. I want to say that's Ventling. Ventling's going to center it. Centered, and Newman with the block on the goal. Nice job by Megan Newman. And she'll boot this one to half field. Chest stopped and controlled by Ventling. She's going to give it up. And getting a foot on it is Carlin Lechner. And the shot on goal will go wide. So the Locomotives doing a good job of putting shots on goal. And Newman will now have a goal kick. She'll wait for a moment. All of the Breaker defenders are pushed up 3 yards above the box. Oh, we have a substitution. That's what's going on. Sub is on the field. To midfield to Walker. Walker crosses over on the new sub. Walker's got a step. She's going to try to feed it up to Kopang. She'll get around the defender at midfield. Feeds it up to Kopang now. Kopang trying to get around the defender, but Ventling doing a good job of staying in front of it. And it will be Colby Gibbs to control at the near side of the box. Centered by the Locomotives at the foot of Spitzer. Spitzer brings it up the near side. She'll flick it ahead, and on the run is Morgan Mack for the Locomotives. Mack comes to the top of the box on the near side, tries to drop it back, foot on it by Giselle Huffman. And now fed back in, centered. Spitzer, or no, that is Cotter. And little miscommunication by Newman and the defender, and Newman will have to boot it out. It's centered back in, and McKenna Round will get a chest on it. Now she'll send it forward, and the midfielder will try to control. Kopang staying on sides, and that's Walker feeding it up to Kopang. Colby Gibbs chasing it down. Kopang, stride for stride. She'll bring it back to the near side sideline. Now Gibbs with the turn. She'll give it off, and controlled by Hopel. Hopel sends it into the middle. Round gets a foot on it. Now it's sent up. Kopang lets it land, and it'll be controlled by Cotter. Huffman gets a foot on it, centered back in by the Locomotives, and a head on it by McKenna Round. Sent crossfield, switching fields. Now the Locomotives are. Gracie Willis with it, in control. She's got a breaker defender, gets around the defender on the turn, centers it up, and this one will be cleared out of the box, upfield. Chasing it down is Amelia Craig. And out of bounds at midfield, it will be Locomotive ball with 25:55 left in the first half. So the inbound on the far side, in front of the breaker bench, controlled by Cotter. Sent upfield, and it's Round. Round will kick it out of bounds, and it will go on the outside of the flag. And we'll have, did that one roll over? It rolled over the corner line. So we'll have the first corner kick of the game, and it'll come on the side of the Locomotives. Short flick on the corner kick, controlled on the end line. McKenna Round is there, centered to the top, and Emma Daniel will clear it out. Locomotives keep control. It's at the foot of Chloe Bauman now. On the far side, centered up. Bauman now will send it into the middle, and Newman will pick it up as it rolls to the end line. So Megan Newman with the boot. She'll send it up to midfield, off the head of a Locomotive defender, and the Locomotives will control. At the foot of Morgan Mack. Mack on the near side. She's going to go ahead and switch fields. And the breaker defender is there, spinning, and sending it to the outside is Lainey Walker. Out of bounds, Locomotive throw in, halfway up on the box, on the far side. Controlled. Trying to get it to the top of the box to center it, and it'll be cleared out by the breakers. Gibbs is there. Daniels will fight her, and Kopang will come down with it. Now at the feet of Ventling, and it's cleared up field. Daniels flicks it ahead, and Gibbs, Colby Gibbs of the Locomotives, will drop it back to the keeper. The keeper will control it on the foot in the box and comes to the near side. Jaleel Huppel will control it. Kopang is there. Centered to Ventling. Ventling turns, gives it upfield. And Chloe Bauman will send it upfield. At the top of the box, now to the corner of the box, the Locomotives will try to center it. McKenna Round is there. Daniels is there. And controlled by the Locomotives. They'll try to send it back in now. In the box, switching over, shot on goal, and Newman is there to drop it down. Megan Newman with some good saves. 7 shots on goal by the Locomotives. 4 by the Breakers. And this one's going to be booted up to midfield. Gibbs gets a shoulder on it. And it will be Amelia Craig chasing it down on the far side. Locomotives control in front of the midfield scorer's table on the far side. Trying to cross over, and now the Breakers will take it away. It's flicked ahead. Drop back. And controlled now by the Locomotives. It'll roll on the edge of the sideline at midfield. Now at the foot of Grace Wagner. Wagner up the far sideline. Centers it now. Flicked ahead. And controlled by the Breakers. Sent ahead. Kopang trying to get a rhythm here. Brought up field by the Breakers. Crossing over. That's Walker. Walker will try to spin away from Gibbs, but Gibbs will get a foot on it to get it away. And it's sent back up into Breaker territory. It rolls to the near sideline, out of bounds, and it will be Breaker ball off of Morgan Mack. It's Giselle Huffman on the inbound. Got to chase it down, though. Once that ball gets on the track here, folks, it's gone. So Huffman is not. Kopang will have the throw in. Here's the toss by Kopang. Up the near sideline. Daniels with a head to flick it on, but Gibbs will control. Daniels with a nice knee on it. She's going to control down the near sideline. Catching the edge of the sideline. She's going to bring it back in. Near side. Sends it into the middle of the box. Nobody's there, so it's booted back out. Bounces on the end line inside the box, and now controlled by the Locomotives. They'll be sending it up this side. Walker to try to control. She has it taken away. Kopang is there. We get a whistle, and this is going to be a free kick by Kopang. At the top of the near corner, about halfway between the box and the sideline on the top corner on the near side. Three-man wall set up by the Locomotives. Kopang with a hand in the air. And she'll send it in, shot on goal, and it's controlled by the keeper. So control. Breakers have it now. Try to flick it ahead, and the Locomotives take it away. 20:32 left in the first half. Trying to send it in. Controlled now by Chloe Bauman. Breakers get a foot on it. It's Walker. Walker feeds it up to Kopang. Kopang's not able to get to it, but it is one of the Breaker midfielders. Daniel now gets it to Kopang. Kopang tied up with one of the Locomotive defenders, and it's a purple and gold foot on it. Turning and going upfield is Cotter. Cotter will get through two defenders, stepping up, and a Breaker defender will get a foot on it. Still controlled at the foot of Bauman. Bauman sends it to the far side, controlling inside the box. Two defenders, shot on goal, and Megan Newman with another great save. 19:42. Here's the boot by Newman. It's high. It's going to come down at midfield and get a Breaker roll. Chasing it down is Sierra Brandstetter for the Locomotives, and she's going to turn at the box. She's got Emma Daniel there. Flicks it ahead to Bowman. Bowman down the far sideline. Breaker defender there. Trying to get a foot on it is Walker. It's going to go out of bounds off of a Locomotive, and the Breakers will have the throw in front of the Laurel bench on the far side. 19:09. And looks like we're going to have a timeout, folks. So we'll step aside for 60 seconds on the Missoula Prep Sports Network as we have a timeout on the field.
Locally owned Paradise Falls is a place for friends and family to enjoy good food and good times. With a diverse menu and a fun atmosphere that includes nearly 30 TVs showing every sport imaginable, Paradise Falls is sure to have something for everyone.
Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Montana owned and Montana proud. Your $29 a month Montana Mega Gym. Fuel has premier facilities with the latest equipment, nutrition superstores, high energy classes, refreshing smoothie bars, attentive childcare, expert trainers, and we never close. Best of all, you have access to 6 locations statewide for just $29 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Go to clubfuelfitness.com right now to find a Montana location near you.
Locally owned Paradise Falls is a place for friends and family to enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week.
With a diverse menu and a fun atmosphere that includes nearly 30 TVs showing every sport imaginable, Paradise Falls is sure to have something for everyone.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network. As we come out of the timeout on the field, 18:42. Whoop. As the clock has started already. Excuse me, so down to 18:30. Got a little bit of the hiccups, so I apologize, folks. I'll try to battle through those so you don't have to listen to them too much. Sent in, shot on goal, and defended by the Locomotives. It's rolled out to Morgan Mack. Mack up the near side, gets around the defender, goes to midfield as she crosses half field. Controlled by the Locomotives. Sent ahead to Cotter. Cotter on the near side. She's going to try to take a left-footed kick, and the shot on goal is wide, out of bounds. Excuse me. So Megan Newman will have the goal kick. And Locomotives with a sub, so they'll take a moment before the kick. There we go to get back into the action. And Newman will put it up the middle of the field on the ground. Control. Walker will step in, take it away from the Locomotive striker. Cleared to the near side, fighting for it. And booted out. Controlled now by Ventling. Ventling in the middle of the field. Switches fields. Gets it off to Gracie Willis. Willis on the far corner of the box. Sends it in. Trying to chase it down. Gets to the end line in front of the corner flag. Now back to Willis at the top corner on the far side. Willis will drive in. Now at the top. Trying to get it centered up. Shot on goal. It's going to be high over the goal. And Newman will have a goal kick. So shots on goal, 10-6 in favor of the Locomotives. One corner kick, and that would be Locomotives. This one's centered and rolls across the front of the box. And Cotter will control. Kicked out of bounds. Off the foot of Huffman. And the throw-in will come at the hands of Hoppel. Nope. Excuse me. She's going to be subbed out. So with 15:45, another sub coming in for the Locomotives. Get some fresh legs out there. I grew up playing soccer. Played for the Big Sky Eagles. Did the Olympic development program for Montana my junior and senior year. And my high school career was 24/7 as the clear bounces on the end line. It'll be a Locomotive throw-in. But a lot of time spent running, folks. We had our two-a-days, as they call them, for Big Sky the first week, and the first 2 weeks, and usually 3 days we were running the M. Get you ready. On your toes for 40 minutes. It's a long time. Got to have a lot of stamina. Here's the throw in by the Breakers on the near side at the foot of Cotter for the Locomotives. She'll flick it ahead. It's Carlin Lechner trying to track it down at the top. At the foot of Grace Wagner. Wagner will turn, comes to the near top of the corner. Now Cotter. Cotter will be taken into the near side of the box. Flicked out to the top. Tried to send it in to center it. And the Breakers will get a foot on it. It's Emma Daniels, and then Daniels is going to go down on a shoulder. Shot taken by Cotter. And Newman booted out of the box. Controlled by the Locomotives at midfield after the keeper kick. Flicked ahead, defender with a foot on it for the Breakers. Walker is over there, but controlled. Now down the far corner. It's Gracie Daniels in the far corner, outside the box. She'll dribble to the top of the box. Crosses over, centers it at the top. Cotter. Cotter's going to go ahead and take a whack at it. Excuse me, and her shot's going to be blocked. 13:30 left in the first half. Locomotives 2, Breakers 0. And we're going to have a sub for both sides. Back into the action on the corner kick, and we're going to have offsides on the corner. So Newman will have the boot on the goal kick. It's on the ground. 2 Locomotive midfielders there. Centered to Daniel. Daniel comes to Kopang. Kopang turns. Ball slips by her foot, and the Locomotives will pick it up. Down the near side. In control by Morgan Mack. Mack will send it to the near side to Cotter. No, that is Grace Wagner. Wagner now to Mack on the near top of the corner of the box. Daniel fighting for it. Walker with a toe on it, and they'll drop it back to Bauman. Far side now, Bauman controlled. Now Bauman. Bauman will go ahead and center it on the top of the box, and it's kicked out by a Breaker defender. Far side, Gracie Willis, and Walker will send it upfield. Trying to chase it down are the Breakers, but Colby Gibbs will be there to take it away. Up the far sideline, now centered at the foot of Caitlin Dawes. Dawes is going to switch fields, and it will be Teal Kelly with control. Kelly flicks it ahead. Cotter bringing it up on the near side. At the foot, Spitzer. Spitzer brings it ahead. Shot on goal, far side, and it's going to be wide. And that's 13 shots on goal. 11:08 left in the first half. So Newman with the goal kick. And we're going to have a sub for the Locomotives. Locomotives with 7 bench players. Breakers have 1. Isabel Johnston is the non-starter. This one's going to be offsides. Newman will go ahead and take the offsides kick. It's going to be in the box, about 6 yards deep. Here's the shot, or the kick. Fought for on the far side by Walker. Locomotives will control. 10 minutes left in the first half. Locomotives are going to go ahead and drop it all the way back to their keeper. And she's going to go ahead and send it to the defender on the far side. Breeze coming up here at Laurel Stadium. And it's going to be Gibbs to control it in the middle of the field on the Locomotive side. Dropped all the way back at the foot of Teal Kelly for the Locomotives. Centered up. Breakers get a foot on it. And it's Emma Daniel fighting for it with a shoulder. And they're going to go ahead and send it and be taken away by the Locomotives. Now it's McKenna Round with a shot upfield. Teal Kelly controlling it, sends it up, and it's Morgan Mack up the near sideline. Mack's going to go ahead and make a run towards the goal, crosses over, shot on goal. It's going to be in goal with 9 minutes left in the half. It's Morgan Mack with the goal. So the Locomotives take a 9-0 lead, or 3-0 lead over the Breakers with 9 minutes left in the first half. Some adjustments being made, and Kopang will drop it back to Daniels. Daniels sends it forward, and the striker up there was not ready. Looked like Amelia Craig, the midfielder actually, and now the Locomotives on the run. They're at the top of the box, centered, shot on goal, and just like that, Morgan Mack will have her second goal of the game at the 8-minute mark. And the Locomotives take a 4-0 lead. Excuse me, 17 seconds between goals. Kopang drops it back, crossed over, Walker in control, trying to get up to midfield, drops it back to Round. Round's going to go ahead and take it all the way back to Newman. The keeper will boot it on the run. Walker will run up on it. It's on the far side. Locomotives with possession, though, on the far sideline. Out to Cotter. Cotter's going to take a shot on goal. It's over the head, and it's it. And Mason Cotter will have a goal. A goal at the 8:09 mark. And the Laurel Locomotives up 5-0. We're going to have substitutions before the kick. 8:09 left. Only one senior on the squad this year, Emma Daniel. 5 juniors. Three sophomores and 2 freshmen. 3 freshmen, one of them not playing. Hannah Bombs and Lexi von Dorsten. Not suited up for the Breakers today. 7:44 left. Breakers in possession, but on their side of the field. And it's Allie Shover take it away from Kopang, but it'll be Emma Daniels to take it away from her. Fed up field. And controlled by the Locomotives. They're going to go ahead and drop it back to their keeper, who has the ball 5 yards deep inside the box. She'll switch fields to the far side. It looks like they've moved Sid Kopang back to the midfielder position. And the Locomotives on the streak on the far side. Onside is the Locomotive. Shot is centered on goal, and it goes in.
Goal.
And another goal for the Locomotives. And I'm trying to see a number on the young lady. Get her to turn around. Number 16, Madison Payton. So it's 7:02. Locomotives take a 6-0 lead over the Breakers. It'll be Isabel Johnson to drop it back, and Kopang will knock it back to Walker. Walker back to Dahl. Dahl will switch fields. Daniel will try to take it up amongst a group of Locomotives, and it's taken away. It's fed up to the Locomotives. It's rolling down the far sideline. Can they get to it? Nope. It's going to roll out of bounds at the top of the box on the far side. Sorry, folks. Trying to get rid of these hiccups. Inbound. Far sideline controlled by the Locomotives. They've got it in the far corner in front of the flag. Now centering it on the box. It's at the top in Shover's feet. Shover's going to go ahead and drop it back. And it's now Hopel to control. A poke on it, and the Breakers will take possession once again at the feet of Johnston. Johnston centers it up with Daniel. Daniel's going to push on it. She's going to be controlling the ball, and it's flicked ahead onto the Locomotive side of the field with 5:45 left. Drop back, and the keeper, Maya Hansen, will control. She's going to switch fields, goes to the far side. She'll be met by Amelia Craig, and getting by Craig is Willis. Willis up the far sideline now as she crosses half field, trying to center it back into the field now. And McKenna Round gets a foot on it, but she'll get another boot. And they try to clear it to the far sideline, but it's off of a Breaker player. And they clear it out to midfield. It's Craig trying to get it from the Locomotive player. Centered back up in the midfield on the H of LHS. And Gibbs will control. She'll bring it up 5 yards. She still has it. Kopang comes to meet her, and it's dropped back at the feet of Hopel. Hopel's going to go ahead and center it up. Hopel gives it off to Tegan Harper, and Harper has it pushed ahead onto the Locomotive side of the field, and it'll roll deep and die out at about the 15-yard line before the Locomotives are going to kick it back to their keeper. Hansen goes to the far side. 4:25 left in the first half. Ball brought up on the far sideline. Crosses midfield and now center. Breakers try to chase it down, and a lot of speed coming out of nowhere is Wagner. And Kopang will have it to clear. She's got a defender right there. Drops it back and trying to get a boot on it, and now it's taken away. It's Wagner. Wagner with a shot on goal. Blocked, but the second shot will come down and it'll go in.
Goal. Locomotives.
And Grace Wagner will have a goal at the 4-minute mark. It's now 7-0. Locomotives, they've got 18 shots on goal. With 3:56 left in the first half. We set the ball up at midfield, and it's Johnston to drop it back. Daniel will control. Gives it to Kopang, will let it go by. Turning is Walker. And drop back, and Newman will control it at the foot. Now she's going to go ahead and send it up. Centered in midfield. Tried to get it to Kopang, but controlled by Shovar. Drop back, and now Daniel will come back up for it, but controlled by Shovar. Shovar at midfield. Goes to the far side at the feet of Willis. Willis flicks it ahead, and there's a Breaker defender there. Daniel fights for it, and it's dropped back to the 30-yard line. Now fed in, centered, and a good foot by Aaron Dahl to keep it from getting into the box, and Locomotive still control, and streaking up and getting a foot on it are the Breakers. Here's Walker. Walker fighting and kicked out of bounds. It will be a Locomotive ball on the throw-in on the near side. Looks like Katie Grammer. As we tick down to the 2:50 mark. At 2 minutes, the clock will stop, and it's up to the official to tell us when the half is over. Here's the throw in by the Locomotives. Kopang will get a chest on it, brings it down, tries to control it, but it's flicked back into the box. Newman comes up. She'll take it on top of the L on the Laurel end zone for the football field. She'll dribble it like a basketball. Now it's kicked up to midfield. Mia Craig trying to control it. And the Locomotives, Gibbs will take over. Shovar now. Shovar to control it midfield. Drops it back to Wagner. Wagner up, and it's Shovar. Shovar will feed it ahead. There is one Locomotive defender. She is onside on the far side. She's going to go ahead and try to center it up, and McKenna Round will get a foot on it, and we will have a corner kick for the Locomotives on the far side, and it looks like, oh, now the clock has stopped. So the corner kick on its way, sent to the middle of the box, a foot on it by the Locomotives, ahead by the Breakers, cleared out of the box now, but controlled. Locomotives, they go to the far corner of the top of the box, tries to send it in, and Newman will have the pickup on the bounce, shot on goal. Worked inside that 2-minute mark. Newman will get a good boot on it to midfield, and there's the whistle for halftime. So the Locomotives run away in the first half, 7-0 over the Breakers. We'll step aside for 3 minutes. When we come back, it'll be halftime. You're listening to Loyola Sacred Heart Sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Locally owned Paradise Falls is a place for friends and family to enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week.
With a diverse menu and a fun atmosphere that includes nearly 30 TVs showing every sport imaginable, Paradise Falls is sure to have something for everyone.
Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is Missoula's one-stop shop for all your hockey and lacrosse needs.
Check this out.
It may be warm outside, but you can still take care of your hockey fix in their 1/3 sized indoor rink.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Stop in to 1010 North Avenue West and see what they have in store for your hockey needs. Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Montana owned and Montana proud. Your $29 a month Montana Mega Gym. Fuel has premier facilities with the latest equipment, nutrition superstores, high energy classes, refreshing smoothie bars, attentive childcare, expert trainers, and we never close. Best of all, you have access to 6 locations statewide for just $29 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Go to clubfuelfitness.com right now to find a Montana location near you.
Mike's Print and Copy is your locally owned print shop. Whether it's custom letterhead or business cards, Mike and his friendly staff understand that your business is important to you and will make sure that your project is handled in a professional and timely manner. Drop into Mike's Print and Copy to have them take care of your printing needs. Stop by 1503 South Russell or give them a call today at 406-728-3363 to have Mike's Print and Copy take care of your printing needs. Mike's Print and Copy is a proud sponsor of high school sports in Missoula and the surrounding community.
Locally owned Paradise Falls is a place for friends and family to enjoy good food and good times. With a diverse menu and a fun atmosphere that includes nearly 30 TVs showing every sport imaginable, Paradise Falls is sure to have something for everyone.
Stitches of Missoula is your resource for embroidery and screen printing. Give Stitches a call today at 406-529-2632 to speak with their super friendly staff and have them take care of your embroidery needs. From business logos to team jerseys, Stitches Embroidery can help you and your team look good. Check them out online at stitchesmontana.com to see their full line of silkscreen and embroidery options. Stitches is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Advertising on the web can be intimidating. Where do you start? What is the most effective way to reach the audience you are targeting? Milk Crate Media can help you reach your audience, whether it is social media marketing or creating a unique commercial for streaming or for radio advertising. Milk Crate Media can help you build a new website or rebuild your existing website that will bring users back again and again. Visit www.mcratemedia.com today. Milk Crate Media is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports in Missoula and the surrounding valley.
Welcome back to MPSN as we're at halftime between the Loyola Breakers and the Laurel Locomotives. Locomotives leave 7-0 over the Breakers. We'll come back. We'll have some halftime stats right after this on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Montana owned and Montana proud. Your $29 a month Montana Mega Gym. Fuel has premier facilities with the latest equipment, nutrition superstores, high energy classes, refreshing smoothie bars, attentive childcare, expert trainers, and we never close. Best of all, you have access to 6 locations statewide for just $29 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Get Montana strong at Fuel Fitness and Nutrition. Go to clubfuelfitness.com right now to find a Montana location near you.
Locally owned Paradise Falls is a place for friends and family to enjoy good food and good times. With a diverse menu and a fun atmosphere that includes nearly 30 TVs showing every sport imaginable, Paradise Falls is sure to have something for everyone.
Advertising on the web can be intimidating. Where do you start? What is the most effective way to reach the audience you are targeting? Milk Crate Media can help you reach your audience, whether it is social media marketing or creating a unique commercial for streaming or for radio advertising. Milk Crate Media can help you build a new website or rebuild your existing website that will bring users back again and again. Visit www.mcratemedia.com today. Milk Crate Media is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports in Missoula and the surrounding valley.
Mike's Print and Copy is your locally owned print shop. Whether it's custom letterhead or business cards, Mike and his friendly staff understand that your business is important to you and will make sure that your project is handled in a professional and timely manner. Drop into Mike's Print and Copy to have them take care of your printing needs. Stop by 1503 South Russell or give them a call today at 406-728-3363 to have Mike's Print and Copy take care of your printing needs. Mike's Print and Copy is a proud sponsor of high school sports in Missoula and the surrounding community.
Locally owned Paradise Falls is a place for friends and family to enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week.
With a diverse menu and a fun atmosphere that includes nearly 30 TVs showing every sport imaginable, Paradise Falls is sure to have something for everyone.
Stitches of Missoula is your resource for embroidery and screen printing. Give Stitches a call today at 406-529-2632 to speak with their super friendly staff and have them take care of your embroidery needs. From business logos to team jerseys, Stitches Embroidery can help you and your team look good. Check them out online at stitchesmontana.com to see their full line of silkscreen and embroidery options. Stitches is a proud sponsor of Prep Sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is Missoula's one-stop shop for all your hockey and lacrosse needs.
Check this out.
It may be warm outside, but you can still take care of your hockey fix in their 1/3 sized indoor rink.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Stop into 1010 North Avenue West and see what they have in store for your hockey needs. Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to MPSN. Chris Stratton from the Missoula Prep Sports Network. As we're just about 4 minutes out from the start of the second half, where the Laurel Locomotives lead the Loyola Breakers 7-0, and that's probably going to be the toughest one for me to do this year. Is Loyola versus Laurel, as they both roll off the tongue. That's why I've been going by Locomotives and Breakers. At the half, Laurel leads 7-0 off of 19 shots on goal and 3 corner kicks. It would be Madison Payton, or actually we'll back up here. Gracie Willis with the first goal at the 37-minute mark, Sammy Spitzer at the 34 mark, and then we would have an array of goals at around the 9-minute mark, as Morgan Mack put one in at the 9-minute mark. And then 17 seconds later, well, she put another one in on goal. And then Mason Cotter would put one in at 8:09. And then the final goal, Grace Wagner. Madison Payton in at the 7-minute mark. So goals aplenty on the Locomotive side of the ball. For the Breakers, well, they've had 6 shots on goal total. So they're still fighting in there on this one. Yes, it is 7-0, and that's a big deficit for soccer, but I have faith in these Breaker girls. They'll be able to put something together. 2:30 left as the Locomotive girls are on the field warming up, and the Breakers are huddled up on their sideline. So we'll get back into the action very quickly. Want to say hello to our newest sponsor to join the Missoula Prep Sports Network, and that would be Tip Coburn and Associates. Defending Montanans since 1959, folks. Tip Coburn and Associates. You can visit them online at tcsattorneys.com. Officials now on the field. Our officials today: Brad Harris, Doug Clapper, Daryl Lewis, and Lori Johnson. So the officials have made their way onto the field, and the Breakers are taking their side. So the soccer field is on the Laurel Locomotives football field. It sits east to west, and the Breakers will defend the western side of the field. Megan Newman, Sydney Kopang, Emma Daniel, Erin Dahl, Lily Baums, Giselle Huffman, Lainey Walker, Carlin Lechner, Amelia Craig, McKenna Round, and Grace Daniel to start the second half for the Breakers. They will have the ball for the second half. Sammy Spitzer, Mason Cotter, Maya Hansen, Aspen Cotter, Jalil Hoppel, Grace Wagner, Sierra Brandstetter, Morgan Mack, Gracie Willis, Colby Gibbs, and Caitlin Dawes on the field for the Locomotives. Breakers will drop it back. McKenna Round to control. Comes to the near side. Back to Round in the middle. Round tries to flick it ahead to Kopang, but it's taken over by Chauvard. And the Locomotives will flick it into the far side in front of the far corner. It'll roll out of bounds and be a throw-in from the far corner flag on the western side of the field. The Ramley traveling well. I always love seeing the Ramley. They travel so well with their teams. They're a ton of fun to be around. Locomotives packing the stands here at the field. Love to see support for soccer. Soccer is a sport that is near and dear to my heart as it's brought into the near side. Gracie Willis tries to center it up, and it will be out of bounds. Megan Newman with the goal kick. And it's not just every 4 years when the Olympics comes around for me, folks. This is a sport that I truly love to watch, play. Of course, I'm too old and slow to run around for 45 minutes on my toes. But it's fun to get out there and play with the kids. And this one's going to be a shot on goal over the head of Newman. And the Locomotives will go up with a shot from 20 yards out off the foot of Ventling. 38-minute mark. And the Locomotives make it 8-0. I forgot to check with our PA announcer if there is I didn't look up in the rule books, but if there is a mercy rule. Of course, in soccer, the clock runs no matter what, so I doubt it. This will just probably be played through. This is Walker streaking through the defense of the Locomotives, and finally, 10 yards outside the box, it's taken away. She went through 4 defenders in a row. Fighting for it are the Breakers. Sent out. It's off the foot of a Locomotive. It's going to roll deep and down the sidelines. It's going to die out before it goes out of bounds. Some of the Locomotives were just letting it go, but Gracie Willis with the presence of mind to get a foot on it. She'll drop it back to Aspen Cotter. Cotter to Chauvard. Chauvard at the top. Kopang with a foot on it. Kopang gets it away from Chauvard. Kopang fighting through 2 defenders. Keeps a foot on it. No whistle, and it's dropped back. And Gibbs, Colby Gibbs, will come back and pick it up. She's a 5'7" sophomore, folks. And she has got some great skills on the defensive side for the Locomotives. Flicked upfield to Gracie Willis. Willis to control it. She's going to go to the middle of the field. Centers it up at the foot of Morgan Mack. Mack's going to spin out of a defender. She's got to run. She's going to have a shot on goal. Newman's going to have a hand on it, and it'll be out of bounds. Corner kick, near side for the Locomotives. Locomotives had 3 corners in the first half. And nope, they're going to say this is a goal kick. All right, we'll take it. So Newman to kick it out of the box from the near side. Here's the foot, and she's going to send it upfield. Kopang with position, but it's taken away by Chauvard. Chauvar's going to drop back. And now Chauvard back in possession. She's going to give it to the near side to the foot of Sierra Brandstetter. Brandstetter will feed it up. Chauvard now with a flick to Willis. Willis will take it deep into the near side, loses control, and drops it back. Willis gets it back. Now the drop to Brandstetter. Brandstetter will switch fields. Locomotives with it, 10 yards outside the box. Now at the foot of Willis. Willis is going to drive in midfield. She's going to send it up, and Newman's going to come up and take it off the foot of the striker for the Locomotives. No shot on goal. So Megan Newman to have the boot from the far side of the box. It's high and deep. It's going to come down at about the 45-yard line on the football field. Walker will put a foot on it, tries to get it forward, but it's taken away by Grace Wagner, out of bounds off the Locomotives. And the Breakers will throw it in at half field. Taking their time, bringing it upfield. Locomotives 8, Breakers 0. They have Locos up on their scoreboard. And we're going to get a whistle. And this will be Breaker ball on the far side in front of the Locomotive bench. Here's the throw in by Walker down the sidelines. Good throw by Walker. I think that's the best throw in I've seen all day between boys and girls. And the Locomotives will go ahead and drop this back to their keeper. Maya Hansen to control. And she'll switch fields to the far side at the top of the box. Defender will come up, or striker will come up in Isabel Johnston. And now the Locomotives send it forward. There's a girl on the run on the far side. No defenders there. It looks like it is Jalil Hoppel. She's going to bring it in. She tries to center it up, and the Breaker defender is there. Kopang to turn, but it's off the foot of a Locomotive. And now Chauvard. Chauvard will get it out to Willis on the near side. Willis to take a moment. Centers it at the top. And Kopang will take it away. It rolls back and picked up by Brandstetter. Brandstetter will feed it up. Turning, shot on goal. It's high off the crossbar, and Newman will get it down. So Megan Newman to boot it out of the box with 33 minutes left, and she's going to go ahead and send it to the far sideline, controlled by the Breakers, flicked in, trying to send it up the sideline, controlling. It's Walker. Walker's got a good step. She'll cross over the ball. And it's taken over by the Locomotives. Locomotives are going to go ahead and drop it all the way back to their keeper, who stands on the top of the circle on the box, and she'll switch fields, brings it near side at the foot of Brandstetter. Brandstetter drops it back to the keeper. Now back to Brandstetter. Brandstetter on the near side, brings it up. She'll be met and a foot on it by Lily Bombs. Now Kopang fighting for it amongst two defenders. Bombs is there. And it's back into the possession of Locomotives. They'll cross half field on the near side. On the run is Brandstetter. Brandstetter brings it down. One defender tries to center it up. Defender gets a foot on it for the Breakers. Taken over by the Locomotives. Centered up. Cross the goal. Foot on it. And it's going to roll in. So at the 32-minute mark.
Goal. Locomotive.
It is the Locomotives with a goal. Just trying to see what the number is as they all crowd around her. I want to say that is Gracie Willis. And the Locomotives now lead 9-0. 32-32 left in the game. It'll be Johnston to drop it back. And it'll be Walker. Walker to switch and drops it back to Megan Newman. Newman on the foot. She can pick it up, but she's going to go ahead and roll it out, and it's picked up by the defender on the far side. Once again, that's Willis. Willis is going to send it to the middle of the field, off the chest, and out of bounds. Goal kick. Trying to get a head on it was the midfielder for the Locomotives. And she came up, she misjudged it. Looked like it came off the throat a little bit. Those ones hurt, folks. So 31-55 now. Newman waiting for the subs to take place. Looks like Johnston is off and Emma Daniel is back on. Here's the kick by Newman. Flicked ahead. And it's Walker trying to get it away from the Locomotive. Drop back. Controlled by the Locomotives. Tegan Harper fighting for it. And taken over. Middle of the field. Locomotives trying to switch field one player at a time, and now it's in Brandstetter. Now to the middle of the field. Drop back. Locomotives being patient and taking their time. This one's dropped all the way back to midfield now. And the Breakers have brought everybody across midfield. The Locomotives have brought everybody across midfield. As the keeper stands 6 yards outside the box. Here's Kopang. She's going to get around the defender. Sends it forward. Flick on. At the foot of Carlin Lechner. Lechner gets it taken away. And the Locomotives, they'll drop it back. And they're going to go ahead and drop this all the way to their keeper, who stands at the top of the box. Switching fields, coming near side. At the foot of Sierra Brandstetter. She'll drop it back to the keeper once again. Locomotives looking to be patient. They've got a 9-0 lead over the Breakers. Centered up. Emma Daniel puts a foot on it, but Locomotives will control. Middle of the field, flicked ahead. Foot on it by the Breakers. That's Walker. Walker will have it bounced off of Chauvar's foot, and it's going to roll out of bounds. That should be Breaker ball. Nope, they're going to give it to the Locomotives. I thought it went off of Branstetter's foot, but that is not the case. So it'll be a throw-in near side right in front of us as we have substitutions. There's 3 standing on the sidelines for the Locomotives. Looks like Gibbs, Wagner, and Harper are coming off the field for the Locomotives. Brandstetter to do the throw-in, and she'll throw it in as the girls come on field. Controlled by Willis. Willis will flick it to the near side. At the foot of Mason Cotter. Mason Cotter will center it up. It's in the goal. And that one might be an inadvertent goal, as there were 2 Breakers down there. And it's now 10-0 with 29:15 left in the game. And I'm not going to mark that one down because I feel like that was an inadvertent goal coming off one of the Breakers. So it'll be dropped back. Kopang to possess. Drops it back to Daniel. Daniel will go to the far side. And brought up the far sideline. Flicked ahead, and this one's going to roll all the way. The keeper will come out for Locomotives, and she stands 6 yards outside of the box with control. She's going to switch fields. Comes from the near side to Brandstetter. Brandstetter will drop it back to Hansen, the keeper, and Hansen back to Brandstetter on the near side. Now we'll get a Breaker to come out and defend it. Upfield to Willis. Willis will drop it back to Brandstetter. Brandstetter back to the keeper, and this time Walker's going to challenge the keeper as she's out of the box, and Hansen will switch fields to the far side. Rod upfield, crossed over, fighting for it. Walker is on the defenders, or on the Locomotive's heels, and this one's going to roll into the box, and we have a whistle that will go against the Locomotives. So Emma Daniel to have the free kick on the offside. 28 minutes left in the game. All Locomotives 10-0. Here's Emma Daniel. She's got a good boot up, gets it to midfield, but the Locomotives get a foot on it. Drop back. Aaron Dahl puts a foot on it, but Locomotives control. Now it's flicked ahead by the Breakers. But there's all Locomotives, and they'll drop this one once again to Hansen. She stands on the top of the box, and the keeper will give it back to the far sideline. Trying to chase it down, it'll be out of bounds, and the Breakers will have a throw-in front of their own bench on the far side. Breakers have their bench on the eastern side of the field, as the field sits east to west. And here comes the throw-in. Trying to go to Kopang, but a head on it by the Locomotives, and Kopang will control. Drops it back. Grace Daniel, and the Locomotives will take it away. Now it's coming up the near side by Brandstetter. Brandstetter will drive it in at the top of the box on the near corner. She's going to go ahead and have a shot. Rolls in, and Megan Newman drops to the ground to scoop it up. That's 7 shots on goal in the second half. Breakers have not had one as of yet. They did have 6 in the first half. Controlled at midfield by Brandstetter. Chauvard comes to the near side, flicks it ahead at the foot of Willis. Willis will bring it up the near sideline. Now back to Chauvard. Chauvard at the top of the box on the near corner. Flicks it into the near corner in front of the flag for Willis. Willis will get it out and now set up, and it's going to be centered. Shot on goal. Defender is there. Shot in, and it's going to go in. And that's Grace Willis with her 3rd goal of the game. She's got the hat trick at 26:09. And Locomotives up 11-0 with 26:09 left. And there's the start. Drop back. Controlled by the Locomotives once again. Between the legs of Bombs. And the Rams, after having something to eat, are back to cheer on their counterparts. And this one will be bounced around in front of the goal, and the Breakers will get a foot on it. Now Kopang's going to try to send it upfield, but Teal Kelly will meet it halfway up the field. And once again, it's possession, and the shot on goal on the far side by Mason Cotter. And we'll have a substitution for the Locomotives with 25 minutes left. 11-0. Substitution made. It'll be a throw-in for the Locomotives on the far side in front of their own bench. Their bench on the western side of the field. Header on the throw-in. Kopang fights for it at the top of the box. A foot on it. And the Locomotives setting up for another shot on goal. And this one's going to roll in. It'll get by Emma Daniel. It'll get across the front of the box. So MPSN will have a break this week. Our next game will be Friday night, as the Loyola Rams will go to Whitehall for football. Ball on the near side, kicked out of bounds. It'll be a Locomotive throw-in. 20 yards up on the near sideline. Throw in by Morgan Mack. Mack's going to get it in, and McKenna Round will get a foot on it. It's going to send it forward, and the Locomotives will have it. They're going to go ahead and send it into the box, and Megan Newman will pick it up. 23-35 left in the game. Here's the kick. High bounce. And trying to get control. Breakers will get a foot on it. That's the first time they've been in the Locomotives side of the field for about 7 minutes now. And once again, the Locomotives take over, and it's Willis into the near side. McKenna Round there to defend. Shot centered, and Megan Newman with a great look and a hand on it as it crossed the front of the goal. And Newman stands. She's going to put a boot on it, and it's going to be high and shallow as it comes down. Locomotives with a foot on it, and that's Sammy Spitzer, and it's taken away. Walker on the run on the far side. Walker with a good run. She's got one defender in front of her. She's going to go ahead and send it up, and the keeper will have it. Shot on goal, and it'll be rolled out to the near side. Controlled by Morgan Mack. She's going to send it upfield, and taken over by Mason Cotter. Cotter gets around the defender, sends it forward, and Willis is by herself, and we're going to have offsides on Willis. Just a step ahead. And we'll have number 16, that is Grace Daniel, to do the free kick. She's going to put it towards the middle of the field, and the Locomotives will pick it up. Grace comes back to defend as Mason Cotter will send it to the middle of the box to set it up. And one thing that we've noticed between the boys and the girls game is the girls have been able to put set pieces together. Set pieces, those are where you set up and you have a striker run, as we have another Locomotive substitution. But set piece is when you have a setup outside the box and you have your players, your offensive players, make a run towards the goal. And Newman will kick it up. It'll be flicked by Emma Daniel. She'll bring it back down, and controlled by Locomotive. Sent in. Defender there for the Breakers to turn it off, and it's going to be out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in just off of the flag on the far corner. So just skating by without the corner kick. And it looks like we have a timeout called on the field. So we'll step aside for 60 seconds on the Missoula Prep Sports Network, as we have a timeout on the field. Locomotives 11, Breakers 0. We'll be right back after this.
Water breaks are pretty normal in this.
Mike's Print and Copy is your locally owned print shop. Whether it's custom letterhead or business cards, Mike and his friendly staff understand that your business is important to you and will make sure that your project is handled in a professional and timely manner. Drop into Mike's Print and Copy to have them take care of your printing needs. Stop by 1503 South Russell or give them a call today at 406-728-3363 to have Mike's Print and Copy take care of your printing needs. Mike's Print and Copy is a proud sponsor of high school sports in Missoula and the surrounding community.
Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is Missoula's one-stop shop for all your hockey and lacrosse needs.
Check this out.
It may be warm outside, but you can still take care of your hockey fix in their 1/3 sized indoor rink.
Really? Wow, crazy.
Stop in to 1010 North Avenue West and see what they have in store for your hockey needs. Hockey Wolf and Lacrosse Wolf is a proud sponsor of high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Welcome back to MPSN as we come out of the water timeout. So what they've been doing, it's not an actual timeout. The officials have been calling time to allow the girls to hydrate. They're playing on a turf field, and folks, the turf field does not help out with hydration. All that rubber, the sun beating down on it. So they're taking some time with the girls. Locomotives have the ball, and this one's going to be a whistle against the Locomotives. Free kick in the box for the Breakers, so that is a break for them as the Locomotives were on the run. Upfield, Kopang taken off the ball by Willis. Up ahead to Ventling. Ventling has it taken away by Round. Round gets a flick into the air. Daniel will send it forward, but controlled by the Locomotives. Kopang trying to defend, and the ball is brought to the near side to Morgan Mack. Mack will get around the defender for the Breakers, brings it up the near sideline. She's going to center it on goal. Breaker defender there to flick it out. Caitlin Dawes wanted to take a kick on it, but here comes Walker. Walker on the run. She's going to cross half field, and she'll be tripped up by Katie Grammer of the Locomotives. Sent forward, but a knee by a Breaker defender and a head to flick it forward. This one's off the foot. Got to get it on the ground, so there's control. And now it is on the ground. Walker fights for it for the Breakers. And it's sent back. Defender is there as the ball is sent forward, and it is shot on goal, picked up by Megan Newman. Wait a minute. That can't be right. There's a number 4. Maya Hansen is both 00 and 4. I don't think there is a new keeper in the box, but she's got a 00. We'll not get too technical about it here, as the Locomotives still have possession, and that's going to be a full-on run into, and both girls go to the ground, no whistle. Ball controlled by Locomotives on their own side of the field. Grammer with a nice crossover to get around the Breaker, and this one's going to be dropped back to the keeper. Could be Madison Payton back there in the goal. She's the other goalkeeper listed for the Locomotives. She's got a 00. Both her and Hansen, Maya Hansen, with 00s. Hansen is a number 4, and Payton is a 16. So it might be Payton back there in the goal now, and Hansen on the field. Ball's out of bounds on the far side. 18 minutes left. Locomotives with a throw-in on the Breaker side of the field, the western side of the field. And we have substitutions waiting to come in. Looks like Johnston's going to come back in for the Breakers, and there are 2. Check that, 1 Locomotive. The subs wear a yellow penny, and our officials today wearing yellow polo tops. So it kind of blends in over there when you've got the sideline official and the official scorer official over there. It's a lot of officiating all in one spot. The throw-in, and Locomotives send it forward, keeping it on the near side. At the foot of Ventling, Paige Ventling sends it in. The header will be wide of the goal. Nice set piece by the Locomotives. Wanted to send a shout out to Megan Newman's dad, John Newman. He's listening to the broadcast. Thank you very much for the compliment, sir. Doing my best here as this one's set on goal, and it's going to be wide. Scissor kick. And that'll be the 13th shot on goal this half by the Locomotives. Megan Newman with the kick on the near side, and here's the goal kick. She's going to come up to McKenna Round, and Round will be bumped off the ball, but Kopang is there to flick it forward. And Locomotives will keep possession. Shovar will come to the near side at the feet of Morgan Mack, and Morgan Mack's going to send it upfield, but a good job by McKenna Round to put a head on it to keep it down on the ground, and Walker will send it forward, and it's taken over once again by Katie Grammer, and the Locomotives will have it on the far side. 15:55 left in the game. 11-0 Locomotives as Laurel switches fields. In possession of Morgan Mack on the near side. At the top of the box now, it is Ventling. Ventling's got a goal. She's going to center it up, and Kopang will take the Locomotive off the ball. No whistle. It's going to roll to the near sideline. Saved by Ventling. Ventling on the near side. She's going to try to center it in front of the goal, and this time Kopang is there to keep it away. And Kopang will send it out. It'll be a throw-in. 5 yards up the line from the corner flag on the near side. Ball on the western side of the field. Breakers trying to play some defense here. 15 minutes left in the game. Here's the center by the Locomotives. Shot is going to be blocked by Emma Daniel. Picked up by Shovar. Shovar at the top of the box on the far side. She'll send it in, and Newman will have an easy save. So Newman to dribble it up like a basketball. Comes to the edge of the box and kicks it off the boot. A drop kick. Good one. It's going to get a breaker bounce at midfield. And controlled once again by the Locomotive. Shovar has it. 10 yards deep. Now 5 yards deep into breaker territory. Sends it to the far side of the field. Up the far sideline. Now trying to get the center. And it is centered up to Mason Cotter. Cotter at the top, and she's going to go ahead and put this one in, and this one's over the goal by half a soccer ball. And Megan Newman will have the goal kick. The little young people that are snagging the balls that go past the goal, they're doing a little better job than they were for the boys' game. The boys' game was, we were having to wait for a new ball to come up. Megan Newman now set to kick with 13:50 left. Substitutions coming in for the Locomotives. That's an advantage, folks. I mean, the Breakers, they have one sub for this game. They do have 2 other girls. But when you've got 7 girls sitting on the sideline with fresh legs, soccer, that's a big thing, is to have some fresh legs. Substitutions a lot more open than they are in World Cup or Euro League soccer. There's limitations at that level, but here at the high school level, you get to have a little bit more substitution, and it makes for fresher legs. Advantage to teams that have larger numbers. The throw-in, Kopang will send it upfield. It's taken over by the Locomotives, and they're going to go ahead and drop this one all the way back to their keeper. She's going to switch fields, comes to the near side, and Morgan Mack will control it. Mack will bring it up the near sideline towards the half-field mark. And she'll cross over on a breaker as she crosses half field. Sends it forward. And that is Maya Hansen now. Maya Hansen with a shot, and Megan Newman, good hands to keep it in front of her. And Newman now with the drop kick from the near side. Walker will bring it down. Johnston to control. Drops it back, and too hard for Walker. And it's got to be dropped all the way back to Newman. Newman to control on the foot. Now it's dropped back and in the possession of Grace Daniel. Out of bounds off of a Locomotive, and it'll be a throw-in for the Breakers. 12 minutes left as we have one Breaker tying a shoe down on the field. There's the whistle to start play. And the throw-in down the near sideline. Locomotives will have defense. It'll be out of bounds. Trying to go to Lily Bombs. But was just not able to get there. So now it's upfield. Walker getting through defenders. I have been very impressed with Walker's play today. She has been very aggressive, extremely fast, and elusive. Locomotives will now have it on the near side, flicked ahead at the foot of Mack. Mack to bring it up on the near sideline, crosses half field with 11 minutes left. She's got Hansen on the near side, and Hansen was offsides and flagged, and that was right in front of the side judge on the near side. Got to be a little sneakier than that. Trying to get away with one of those. You want to be a little bit more towards the middle of the field, not right in front of the side judge. Wind coming in from the northeast. Still got plenty of smoke to sock us in here in Laurel. And there's nobody there as this one's sent up across half field. Chased down by Teal Kelly and dropped back to the keeper for the Locomotives. Back to Kelly. Kelly will send it forward. Shovar to center it. And the defender, Emma Daniel, to come up for the Breakers. Now it's sent ahead. On the run is Ventling. Ventling has a step on Walker. Ventling and Walker with elbows and shoulders, and this one's going to be a shot on goal. And Megan Newman with an easy pickup. 10 minutes left. Locomotives have backed off. We haven't had a goal since the 26th minute. We have had several shots on goal, as there are 18 shots on goal in. Breakers have 1 shot on goal in this second half. Those stats coming in on the second half. Centered, Kopang with a foot on it, and Round will clear it out to the far side. Trying to chase it down is Lainey Walker. She'll get there, gets a foot on it, and she's going to have some run. She'll flick it ahead. Tries to get it to her strikers, and it's taken away by the Locomotives. They have possession on the far side in front of their bench at the foot of Aspen Cotter, and they'll drop it as Lechner will come up to force the drop back to the keeper. And nobody coming up to challenge the keeper, so she's just going to hold on to it. Now switches fields to the near side, and Mack will drop it back to her. She stands outside the box, inside the circle, half circle at the top of the box, and it looks like the Locomotives are going to be okay with just playing kickball back and forth with their keeper. Now it's turned by Willis. Willis will bring it up. Centered back up to Willis. Willis in the middle of the field at midfield, and McKenna Round comes up, puts a boot on it, sends it the opposite direction. Controlled once again by the Locomotives. Sent in, and the Breakers will get a foot on it. It will get a Locomotive bounce as it comes back towards them, and it's fed up field. Locomotives on the streak down the far side, into the far corner outside the box. Now it's going to try to be centered. Good job by the defender. As it rolls out of bounds, the Locomotives will have a throw-in on the far side, on the western side, and 3 more Locomotives coming in on the substitution. So no action this week until Friday, when the Rams football program will take on Whitehall. Soccer will have on Saturday against Polson, the boys at noon, the girls at 2. So a week off between games. We'll get into heavy action here. School starting this week for the Missoula schools, as this one's going to be on goal and in goal. And that one will be Tegan Harper at the 7-minute mark of the second. And it's 12-0 Locomotives. Johnston with the kickoff drops it back, and they're going to drop this one all the way back to Megan Newman. Newman will control it on the foot. She can pick it up inside the box, but she's going to go ahead and flick it to Kopang. Kopang will turn with the defender in front of her, flicks it out to Walker. Walker tries to go up the sideline, far side. She's got a girl there, but too much out of bounds, and it will be Locomotive's ball. Here's the throw-in at the foot of Harper. Harper centers it up, brought up field now by Mason Cotter. Tried to center it up for a shot on goal, but Megan Newman will come up and pick it up. She'll dribble it like a basketball, waits for the field to clear, and now the boot from the far side of the box. This one's going to come down in front of a Locomotive defender, flicked ahead, but the Breakers will be there, and now taken. Oh, no, Willis will control. Looked like Amelia Craig was going to take that one away, but Willis with the control. Now they'll come to the near side. Coming up the sideline is Willis. Willis to the middle of the field on the foot of Bauman. Bauman tries to center it, and the Breaker defenders keep it off. Fighting over there is Giselle Huffman, and it'll be saved before it goes out of bounds in front of the Locomotive bench on the far side. Locomotives will maintain possession. Johnston gets a foot on it, but Bauman And they'll drop it back. Grace Wagner in control at midfield. Comes to the near side to Caitlin Dawes. Dawes comes near side to Willis as she crosses half field. Flicked ahead for Willis. Willis on the run down the near side. She's at the top of the box, one defender. She's going to center it up. Gives it off to Cotter. Aspen Cotter to the center of the field. Emma Daniel there. And the shot on goal, and Newman with an easy save. 20 shots on goal in the second half for the Locomotives. Kicked ahead by Newman, a head put on it by a Locomotive midfielder. Johnston tries to control, and it's flicked out. Willis will have control on the near side. Tries to center it up. Round gets there, and now Johnson. Johnson's going to drop it back. Flicked forward, and no breakers there. It's going to roll out of bounds, and Locomotives will have a throw-in as Caitlin Dawes picks it up. Here's the throw-in. Drop back, and it'll be kicked out of bounds by Amelia Craig. Dawes to have the throw-in once again. She's going to give it off to Hansen. Hansen gives it up, and it's at the foot of Harper. Harper's going to center it. Hansen is there. Kopang takes it away and sends it back upfield. Crosses the 30-yard line on the football field. 3:40 left. Breakers playing defense here. Johnson gets a foot on it, but controlled by Harper. Near side, Willis. Willis at the top of the box, tries to center it up. Now a flick to Willis. Willis is going to try to give us a center, and she's going to set the piece up, but Kopang is there, out of bounds. And this is going to be off a Locomotive player. Kopang started out as a striker, but about 5 to 7 minutes into the first half, they would drop her back to midfield. Kopang, very spirited. And we get a whistle. Is that game? We still have 3 minutes left on the clock. Not sure if that's another water break or not. We'll leave it here for a second. Everybody huddled up on the side.
Big hand for both teams, ladies and gents.
And they're going to call a game at 3 minutes left, I think. Yep. Locomotives are heading over to shake hands with the Breakers. So the Locomotives get the win 12-0 over the Breakers.
Football game, 7 o'clock between Laurel and Fergus. Again, thank you very much for your attendance, ladies and gents.
So we appreciate you tuning in and listening to the game. We're glad that we were able to bring it to fans that were not able to make it out to the stadium. I want to say a special thank you to all of our sponsors. If you're out and about in the community, you happen to use or call one of these sponsors for their services, take 30 seconds and tell them thank you for supporting high school sports on the Missoula Prep Sports Network. Our next game will be next Friday night with Loyola Ram football in Whitehall, and then Ram and Breaker soccer will be next Saturday hosting Polson. Thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of your weekend. You've been listening to Loyola Soccer on the Missoula Prep Sports Network.
Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of Missoula Sports.
What a rush!
MPSN's coverage of Missoula Sports is proudly powered by Fuel Fitness.
Always, always, always.
Tune in next time when the Missoula Prep Sports Network has coverage of your local sports heroes.
Well, goodbye.